welcome to another episode of Temple Book Club. I'm, as always, your host, Victoria de la Fontaine, and this is my co-host, Sasha Lundergaard.
Thanks for that wonderful introduction, Vicky. Today, we will be discussing Michael Chabon's Gentlemen of the Road. A staple element of the adventure genre is the attention to detail. Famous examples like Robinson Crusoe, Lord of the Rings, and the Da Vinci Code take time to delve into every detail of a character's activities, whether they be travel or combat. A fairly recent addition to the list is Chabon's Gentlemen of the Road, published in 2007, which outlines an adventure taking place in 10th century Khazaria.
But if Gentlemen of the Road truly deserves to be acknowledged as a prime example of modern adventure genre, then it must follow the adventure tradition of immense detail. So does it?
Let's find out, Vicky. To test this, let's examine an attempted reenactment of a combat scenario that appears earlier in the novel. Our terrific interns, D'Angelo and Biagio, will demonstrate this intricately planned battle.
To set the scene, we're looking at a one-on-one armed combat scenario. On one side, we have Zelikman, the scarecrow-esque physician of Frankish descent, who is armed with what Chabon describes as a long, absurdly thin bodkin that might serve in a pinch to roast a couple of birds over an open fire. This is not edged like a sword might be, but has the advantage of being very lightweight. This means that effective combat with this weapon is likely to involve quick, precise stabbing attacks.
Indeed it does, Vicky. The other combatant, Amram, is using a huge Viking axe.
This weapon is virtually the opposite of Zelikman's weapon, as effective combat would likely involve chopping or slicing motion. However, due to the size and weight of the thing, it is likely slow and hard to redirect.
So here we go. The combat starts with the two circling each other, waiting for one chance to strike. The Frank minced and scissored on his walking stick legs, the tip of his bodkin indicating the heart of the African.
So we are seeing that attention to precision, Sasha.
Indeed we are, Vicky. At the same time, Amram's walk is described as employed an odd crabwise scuttling style of circling, knees bent, eyes fixed on the Frank, the axe held loosely in his left fist.
This is also fairly accurate, as it compensates for the weight of the weapon, allowing for a quick move to a fence should an opportunity present itself.
Amram strikes first, then the axe, humming, seeming to drag the African toward the belly of the Frank.
Notice again, Chabon is paying attention to detail and weight of inertia of a weapon like this. This weapon would be hard to redirect once you start it up again. Wouldn't you say so, Sasha?
Indeed, Vicky. Zelikman reacts with dodged, watched, and ducked when the axe came looking for his head.
Props to Zelikman for the dodge, but the head is a small target. Chabon may have been more accurate having Amram go for the center of mass, but as a stage fight, I think we can overlook this part.
Excellent point, Vicky. So Zelikman starts by dropping his shoulder, rolling on the ground, surprisingly adroit for a scatterlimb scarecrow, and popped up behind the African, kicking him in the buttocks with a look on his face of such childish solemnity that the spectators again burst into laughter.
A clever and engaging counter, but notice that Chabon doesn't quite tell us where Zelikman's weapon went with this one. Our actor had to develop some improv there to interrupt what might have happened, as he wound up hitting him in the head a few times.
By this point, we get into the body of the battle, with some general specifics. So Amram grew gross and discerning in his axe play.
It's interesting, we hear a lot of Zelikman dodging, but we don't ever hear from Chabon about Amram's methods.
Speaking of which, our finale involves a combo and a bit of a cheap shot. So the African heaved, passed under the inertia of the weapon, and Zelikman uses this to his advantage, which we said is a cheap shot.
Well put, Sasha, leaving Amram immobilized in an easy position for Zelikman to finish him off.
So, final thoughts?
Chabon's form is pretty good, but he gets a little rusty in places, but I suppose that I'd have liked to have been given even more detail. He gets Vega points, like during that roll and the body of the combat text. Maybe a few more specifics or moved the scene about a little from this location on the square.
There you have it, ladies and gents. Join us next time as we discuss Gun with Occasional Music and the physics of disarming a gun-wielding kangaroo. Once again, I'm Sasha Lundergaard saying, keep chipper, Temple University.
And I'm Victoria de la Fontaine saying, stay gold, mother.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debut grand opening of Mad Villain Bistro Bed and Breakfast Bar Grill Cafe. Cafe Lounge on the water, where we offer you the finest and the finer things. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.